अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूं मुनीर पीरज़ादा। आप देख रहे हैं TV 49 न्यूज़। आइए नज़र डालते हैं इस खबर पर।
Press Club of Pakistan UK organized an event under the supervision of Chairman Mahboob Elahi Butt and President Muqaddasa Bano, in which Sir Tony Lloyd, Lord Wajid Khan, Mayor of Rochdale Aasim Rashid, Deputy Consulate General Farhat, TV 49 News team, councillors, businessmen, politicians, journalists, and a big number of community participated. It was wonderful, very well organized, and very informative program.
Jinnah is incorruptible and brave. اور جو لاسٹ چیف جسٹس تھے انہوں نے کہا کہ اگر گاندھی نہ ہوتا تب بھی ہندوستان کو آزادی مل جاتی. اگر لینن اور ماؤ نہ ہوتے تو نہیں ملتی تو تب بھی چائنا اور یہ جو کمیونسٹ کا انقلاب ہو جاتا. لیکن انہوں نے کہا اگر محمد علی جناح نہ ہوتے تو 1947 میں پاکستان نہیں بنتا. یہ چیز
آپ کی بہت شکریہ. مجھے بہت مہیا کیا گیا ہے کہ میں پریس کلب آف پاکستان کا پروجیکٹ سے آپ کو متعارف کرواؤں. لیکن ایک بات یہ ہے کہ کووڈ کے بعد یہ پہلا پروگرام ہے پریس کلب کا. اس سے پہلے جو کووڈ سے پہلے پروگرام ہوئے ہیں اس میں ہم نے کمیونٹی کو پاور کروا دیا تھا کہ آپ آئیں یا نہ آئیں, لیٹ آئیں یا پہلے, ہم نے ٹائم پر پروگرام شروع کرنا ہے. اور آج بھی ہم نے ٹائم پر شروع کر لیا. جو فلیکس ہم دے سکتے ہیں ہم دے دیں. ظاہر ہے میں نے بھی قیام سے دیکھا ہے ٹریفک کا رش ہے موٹر وے پر بھی, اور کچھ لوگ لیٹ ہو رہے ہیں, کچھ لوگوں کے 29 ستمبر 1987 میں اس ملک میں آیا تھا اور روزنامہ ملت میں میری جاب تھی سٹی ایڈیٹر. اور 4 جنوری 1988 میں پہلا جو ادھر جرنلسٹوں کی اتحاد کی پہلی کوشش ہوئی, میں اس میں شامل تھا. پھر ہم نے پاکستان جرنلسٹ ایسوسیشن بنائی, وقت گزرتا گیا, پلیٹ فارم بنا. سو میرا چونکہ تعلق ہوئی کیا ابھی شہزاد صاحب نے فرمایا کہ ہم دونوں LLB میں اسٹوڈنٹ بھی تھے, لیکن LLB کرنے کے بعد میں نے 9 مہینے تک پریکٹس کی ہے, وکالت کی ہے. سو پریس کلب بنانے کا جو مقصد تھا وہ یہ تھا کہ ایک ایسی پاکستانی جرنلسٹوں کی پہچان بن جائے, ایک عمارت ہو جس کے اندر لائبریری ہو, جس کے اندر پریس گیلریز ہو, جس کے اندر جو ہے وہ اپنی ثقافت کو روشناس کروانے کے لیے خال ہو. یہ کام ہم نے پہلے دن سے ہمارے ذہن میں تھا. لیکن عجیب بات یہ ہے کہ میں معذرت سے عرض کرتا ہوں کہ ہماری قوم کے اندر اگر آپ کام نہ کریں, آپ گھر بیٹھ جائیں تنظیم بنا کے ایک اخباری بیان دے دیں کہ ہم نے جو فلاں تنظیم ہے اس نے اجلاس کیا, فلاں صدر ہے, اس کا فلاں سیکرٹری ہے. یہ بات میں نے شفیق الزمان صاحب اور پرویز مسیح صاحب, مقدسہ بانو, سہیل حیدر صاحب, سامل جیکب صاحب, غلام شہزاد صاحب کو بہت پہلے بتا دی تھی. میں نے کہا جناب یہ اتنا کو آسان کام نہیں ہے جو ہم کرتے ہیں. انہوں نے کہا جی ہم آپ کے ساتھ ہیں. میں نے کہا ساتھ میں تو چلے چلتے. پریس کلب کی بنیاد 2004 دسمبر میں رکھی گئی, عہدہ دیا گیا اور میں منتخب ہو کے آیا. اب وہاں پر یہ تھا کہ ہمارے جو مسیحی جرنلسٹ ہیں ان کی نمائندگی کسی پریس کلب میں, کسی صحافی کی تنظیم میں نہیں تھی, جبکہ ان کا ایک پیپر باقاعدگی سے کرسچن ٹائمز کے نام سے نکل رہا تھا. تو میں نے ان سے رابطہ قائم کیا. میں نے کہا آپ کی جرنلسٹ ہیں, آپ کی پاکستانی ہیں, آپ آئیں اور ہمارا ساتھ دیں. اب جناب پریس کلب میں اس کی محافظت شروع ہو گئی کہ آپ نے مسیحی کو کیوں ممبر بنایا. تو میں نے ان سے کہا کہ دیکھیے آپ پریس کلب کا یہ اعزاز حاصل ہوا پریس کلب آف پاکستان کو کہ ہمارا صدر جو ہے وہ ایک کرسچن بنا, شفیق الزمان صاحب کو, اور بلا مقابلہ منتخب ہو گئے کیونکہ دوستوں نے کہا کہ یہ کمیونٹی بڑی ڈپرائی ہوئی ہے, اس کو آگے آنے کا موقع ملنا چاہیے. اور پھر 2 سال تک شفیق الزمان صاحب نے جو صدارت کی وہ آپ سب کے سامنے ہے. کہتے ہیں ہماری نائب صدر جو ہے مقدسہ بانو, یہ بہت ایکٹیو ہے. हालांकि मुक़द्सा बानो ज़हनी तौर पर तैयार नहीं थे सदर बनने के लिए। एक बात हो या नहीं? इन्होंने कहा था कि मैं जनरल सेक्रेटरी रह के मैं शरीफ साहब से कुछ सीखना चाहती हूँ। मैंने कहा था कि आप सदर बन के भी बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हैं। और फिर हमने ये तब्दील ने ये रिकॉर्ड कायम किया कि हमने एक औरत को दूसरी एक बात ये की हैसियत से कुछ जिम्मेदारियाँ हैं और वो कह रही थी कि मैं मतलब मुझे क्या करूँ उनका बकायदा उनकी अंदर औरतों के लिए शोबा कायम किया जाए, इसके अंदर प्रेस गैलरीज हों, इसके अंदर जो है वो हॉल हो जिसमें हम फंक्शन करवा सकें। ये सारा कुछ होने के बाद अब पहले तो बात है कि हमें कुछ साल तो इसलिए लगे कि हम ये दुनिया को आया कि जब अरकान ने इस बात के ऊपर शदीद तनकीद की, उन्होंने कहा कि अब हमें ये दुनिया को बताने की जरूरत नहीं है कि हम ही प्रेस क्लब है, दुनिया देख रही है जो हम काम कर रहे हैं। फिर उसके बाद में चले गए थे। तो अब हमने नए प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाए हैं। एक जर्नलिस्ट ट्रेनिंग का प्रोजेक्ट है। वैसे हमने जो प्रोजेक्ट्स माजी में किए आपने शायद बता भी दिया होगा। आप क्यों नहीं आपने उनको बुलाया? और उसके अलावा मैंने उनसे कहा कि जिन लोगों के साथ हेट क्राइम के इम्कानात हैं उस कौम को पता होना चाहिए हेट क्राइम कहाँ पर रिपोर्ट किया जाता है। मैंने कहा हम रिपोर्ट करने के लिए रिपोर्ट करते हैं, पुलिस हमारी बात नहीं सुनती। आप किस तरह की बातें कर रहे हैं? सो ये मकसद प्रेस जर्नलिस्टों की यूनियन एक और बात है। यूनियन में और प्रेस क्लब में एक फ़र्क है। प्रेस क्लब के अंदर ये नहीं होता कि सिर्फ हम जर्नलिस्टों की फ़ायदे की बात करें, बल्कि उसके लिए आज़ादी मेंबरशिप भी होती है। जो जर्नलिस्ट नहीं होती उनको
bit by bit that for the Muslims of particularly what became Pakistan, being forced into that larger India would have been intolerable. But if you go back and read any history of the formation, it was almost incredible that Pakistan was born. Almost incredible that the nation of Pakistan existed in 1947, because the odds against that happening were enormous. And quite frankly, had it not been for that one individual, and Ghulam, you're right, and Mehboob was right, without Muhammad Ali Jinnah, there would have been no Pakistan. And that's the tribute. But I don't want to speak for too long, but I just want to make a few other points. Before you heard reference to the legislation that we passed in our parliament about hate crime, and that was a very appropriate thing to say today, because one of the things that we need to commemorate about Quid-e-Azam is that the Pakistan he envisaged was a Pakistan which gave freedoms to people of all backgrounds. To my friend Billy as a Christian, and obviously to Muslims, to people of different faiths, because that was the Pakistan that Muhammad Ali Jinnah sought to create. And those principles of respect for each other, respect for people from different backgrounds, is something that every one of us should hold dear in our hearts, because it's something that matters in this town of Rochdale, in this country of the United Kingdom, but of course increasingly in the world in which we live. Respect for each other, respect for our different traditions, respect for our different hopes and ambitions. All of that is right and proper, and all of that is built into the foundation of the nation of Pakistan. Now, I will say this to you quite honestly, not every Pakistani leader that followed Muhammad Ali Jinnah followed those principles, and that's a shame, because that held back people of Pakistan in a way that really is unacceptable. But the dream of what Pakistan can be in this world will always be there, and it's a dream we share, those of us who care even at all about Pakistan and its future, because that dream is still what we must insist Pakistan has. Now, this is a difficult time, I think, for Pakistan. The fall of the government in Afghanistan, the Taliban government, you probably may have different views in this room about what that will mean, but I can tell you this, turbulence in Afghanistan cannot be good for Pakistan. We have a common interest in trying to make sure that we work for peace in the region, because the relationship of the people of Afghanistan is too important for Pakistan. There are millions, and everybody in this room knows it, millions of Afghans who live in Pakistan, who fled Afghanistan those years ago, and we don't need to see that kind of instability, because it holds Pakistan back from achieving its real destiny. So this government of ours in the United Kingdom has got to work with the governments in this land to make sure that we work for the most stable possible solution to the region and indeed to the world. And of course, part of that is the situation in Kashmir. And because unless we do see the world demanding proper resolution of the situation in Kashmir, that will always act as a barrier to proper stability and peace in the region. It holds Pakistan back, actually ironically, it holds India back. And in holding both those two countries back, it holds back the people of both those nations. And we should be saying to both New Delhi and to Islamabad, but to New Delhi in particular, we've now got to a resolution of the position in Kashmir in a way that gives the right to the people of Kashmir to determine their own destiny. You know, the dreams that actually the poet Iqbal had as probably the emotional father of Pakistan, and the dream that Muhammad Ali Jinnah had as the father of the nation. Those are as real today, the dreams of what can be achieved in this world if people of goodwill respect the principles of the foundation of the nation of Pakistan and seek to build that in the modern world. It's a big dream. It's a dream we should share. And it's a dream that from this town of Rochdale we should say we want to work with the people of Pakistan to make sure that dream comes true.
Behind myself, this is a wonderful lady called Farhat, my General Secretary, Shahzad, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, good afternoon and assalamu alaikum. I heard Rochdale people, Sir Tony Lloyd tells me Rochdale people have a lot of passion. Let's try that again. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. It's a great privilege and honour to be here because on the invitation of the Press Club of Pakistan and my good friend Muqaddsa is sat here and spoke very eloquently about the issues facing the Press Club. I'm always very honoured to be in the company of Ghulam and Shahzad, and I think it's a great testament to the work you do in Rochdale. You are a great ambassador, not just for Rochdale or Pakistan, but for humanity, for Jinnah and also. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say how much of a pleasure it is to follow the Right Honourable Sir Tony Lloyd. And we were all praying when, unfortunately, Sir Tony Lloyd fell ill when he suffered from COVID-19. And such respect that he has across the house, both houses, across the political spectrum, that his people were well wishing him and praying for him, from not just here in the UK, but across the world. And that's the reputation of a man. So you're lucky to have Sir Tony Lloyd as your representative, somebody who commands respect, and when he speaks, people listen with great focus and with great interest. And may Allah give you the best of health in the future. Thank you very much. I just want to say a few comments in relation to the Press Club of Pakistan. I just want to firstly mention everybody. It's really important. This is not just our one-man team and Muqaddsa just walk back in again. But I want to say, Madam President, your team includes Vice President Samson Jareed, General Secretary Shahzad, just walked in, Mehboob Elahi Butt, Vice Secretary Shafiq Zaman, Victor John, Naim Wise, Haider, and these people have been working tirelessly, voluntarily, for the interest of better democracy, better reporting, and to raise awareness on these very important issues. So ladies and gentlemen, let's be kind and thank them with your open hearts for all the work they've been doing in their roles. Give them a round of applause. Remembering the great Quid-e-Azam, Jinnah, and his message was clear: faith, unity, and discipline. I'm here as a British member of the House of Lords, but I'm very proud of my Pakistani roots. Of course, my father came here when he was 15 years old. He didn't know a word of English. He definitely didn't know the culture. But he came here from Pakistan for a better life for his family, friends, brothers and sisters, and support them as well as his immediate family. And he made Britain his home. But what he also did with me was make sure I never forgot my roots. I learned my ancestral roots through education here in the UK. And we were never really good at partitioning. The UK, partitioning wasn't our strength. We thought we did the right thing at the time, but unfortunately history has shown that it didn't work out. But my father always reminded me of his life, his religion, Pakistan. And I made it a mission for myself to go back to Pakistan often, to understand and to see my relatives and see the village where he grew up. And it's important for everybody here now, and great to see people from Leeds, Councillor here as well. People have come here to celebrate the work of the Press Club of Pakistan, but also to remember the vision of Pakistan. And I think Sir Tony Lloyd made a very personal point here. And his point was that the vision was of great vision, poetic, was from Allama Iqbal Sahib, and then who made it into practice was Quid-e-Azam. But unfortunately, many leaders across the years haven't really fulfilled that vision and have moved away and deviated. And I think this is so important. Pakistan is still a new democracy. And sometimes you have the military come in, which hasn't done great help to democracy, but it is an evolving democracy. I say that I was an election observer. In 2018 elections, I was there in Islamabad observing elections, and I realized when people start looking at Pakistan from the prism of the eyes of the UK or the US, it's wrong. Because the UK and US have hundreds of years of democracy. They're established, and even then we have challenges in our democracy. But Pakistan is evolving, it's a growing country, and I speak to many young people in Pakistan. And I always find great hope in seeing the talent and potential of the young, predominantly young population of Pakistan. But we as the British Pakistanis who are working across the board in our communities, in Rochdale, or Manchester, or Leeds, wherever you come from today, you must always remember that the next generation of your children, you've got to keep that connection through and take them back to Pakistan. Do take them back, because when I visit Pakistan, it gives me great pride. And I'm still here remembering the work of my parents and my grandfathers and the lives that were sacrificed. Partition was a very unfortunate event in the sense that people lost a lot of lives. But as Sir Tony Lloyd said, if you look at the modern day India, and unfortunately the leadership of Narendra Modi and his vision of BJP and RSS inspired, it's actually trying to move towards a one religious dominant country, and that actually has proven the point of the vision of the great Quid-e-Azam. On the work of the Press Club of Pakistan, and Basa will agree with me, I've always appreciated, and I want to pay tribute, not just to print media here, but I want to say a big thank you. I want you to put your hands together for Muqaddsa, my name, Mia Amrali, Wasim Chaudhry, Harun Mirza, and others here that promoted the culture of British Pakistanis. We as British Pakistanis have been serving in different fields. We always look to make sure we, as Councillor Janet said, one community. But we also need to remember where we came from. And I never forget that journey. And I'm just, if I may, with your permission, former Mayor Janet and Sir Tony, to say a few words of Urdu, with your permission. देखें, मुझे बहुत फ़ख्र है और नाज है कि हमारी जो ब्रिटिश पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी, ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानी जिसको हम कहते हैं, वो बहुत कुछ देते हैं. हम $20 बिलियन के करीब हम ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानी भेजते हैं पाकिस्तान की जो सलामती है और प्रॉस्पेरिटी है, इसमें बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा है ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानी. मैं ये फिलहाल कॉन्सुलेट पाकिस्तान डेप्यूटी कॉन्सुल जनरल से ये भेजना चाहता हूँ कि हम जब पाकिस्तान जाते हैं, ये जो नज़रियात है, विजन है, फेथ, डिसिप्लिन, यूनिटी, अभी भी इश्यूज़ हैं. और ये हम कहते हैं हम इन्वेस्ट करें पाकिस्तान में, हम जाएँ, बच्चों को लेकर जाके कहते हैं, और बहुत ज़रूरी है बच्चों को लेकर जाएँ, क्योंकि अगर आप नहीं लेकर जाएंगे वो कहेंगे पाकिस्तानी रहने में दुबई चले, मोरक्को चले. पाकिस्तान का कल्चर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को अगर आपने बचाना है, पाकिस्तानियत उनमें वो बरकरार रखनी है, तो पाकिस्तान को लेकर जाएं. लेकिन पाकिस्तान को जब जाते हैं उनका तजुर्बा एक्सपीरियंस बहुत ज़्यादा नेगेटिव होता है, तो ये नहीं होना चाहिए. तो हम चाहते हैं पाकिस्तान को ऐसा मुल्क बने. As Sir Tony Lloyd said, Afghanistan on the border, India on the border, a lot of challenges. it's difficult for Pakistan. लेकिन पाकिस्तान को भी ये देखना चाहिए कि हम सिर्फ ओवरसीज पैसे के हवाले से ना बात करें, हमारी कम्युनिटीज़ में डॉक्टर्स हैं, जर्नलिस्ट हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा मुख्तलिफ शोबों में हमारे नौजवान बच्चे बच्चियाँ हैं, उनका स्किल्स को इस्तेमाल करें। हम तो यहाँ फर्स्ट और फॉरमोस्ट एक ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंटेरियन में हमारा खून जड़े कुछ पाकिस्तानी है, जो भी हम कह सकते हैं हमारा दिल हमेशा पाकिस्तान के सामने के लिए है। And finally, may I've said it quite a few words. I want to say the great man, Quid-e-Azam, has left a really huge legacy in the sense that a beautiful country is Pakistan. I visited Pakistan many times. I've been to Quid-e-Azam, I've been to Pakistan, I've been to Sirte, I've been to Kashmir, and it's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever visited. And when you take your children back to Pakistan, don't just take them back to your village to meet Nani, Dadi, Dada. Take them to these wonderful sites. That's the mosque in Islamabad. Take them to the scenery of Kashmir. And do visit, and I hope people do visit. It's one of the most beautiful countries. And the last point I'll make, Pakistan's occurrence, existence as a country is, in my view, is very good. Because the borders around, the people around, the challenges they face is bizarre, and it's still a developing country. On Kashmir, I say this clearly, the only country that has spoken up for the Kashmiri human rights at every international forum is Pakistan. So, have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you very much for the work you do, the Press Club of Pakistan, Madam President. Great to see journalists become politicians as well. All the work that we promote, even my work, Sir Tony Lloyd's work, I watch it across the channels. It's a huge medium. You play, journalists, media persons, you play a huge role to the development of your communities here in Rochdale and Greater Manchester. But you also, as journalists, as members of the media, you are great ambassadors for your country of Pakistan. Well done, and we are very proud of you. Thank you.
Yes, ladies, gentlemen, I'm really happy to see you all after such a long time. I bring you all sincerely greeting of peace for everyone at Press Club of Pakistan. It has been my privilege to reside over this auspicious occasion of commemorating Qaid-e-Azam, Jinnah and Jinnah's achievements have been unique, especially the creation of the state of Pakistan during the completion of the independence of India. All our great guest speakers have highlighted various aspects of Jinnah's life and his success. Jinnah never went to prison, yet he used the same British system to gain a new state in 1947. I thank Sir Tony Lloyd, whose public service is well known in Stratford, Manchester and Rochdale. His former as the Crime and Police Commission. Thank you for your contribution today. You have always supported all community activities throughout your public life, and now the people of Rochdale are benefiting from your service. As a new elected councillor in Manchester, I am beginning to come to terms with immense responsibilities of public life. We have a strong relationship with the Consulate General of Pakistan, Manchester. I extend a big thank you to Farhat, and we are indebted to our friends in Rochdale and members of our government committee who have worked in the background to make this event successful. Finally, the most important people to thank are all of your participation who dedicated this afternoon to pay tribute to Qaid-e-Azam, Jinnah. Finally, I hope you have enjoyed the event, and again, thanks a lot for your graceful attendance over here. And to see your beautiful faces, ladies and graceful gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You are all aware that there are enormous political achievement of the Quid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. It's like quite not possible to summarize it in few words, but all we are aware of the fact that whether it is the reorganization of the Muslim League or whether it is the supervision of the immigrants, it was Qaid who was present on every occasion. And it was this dedication to his work and his engagement with the people that made him Baba-e-Qaum, and it means father of the nation. Dear friends, it's because of the political leadership of the Quid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah that we are living in an independent state. And we are gathered here today to remember him. But let me remind you, dear friends, that Quid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah became a ray of hope at a time when the world of the subcontinent totally, completely were disappointing and they were politically disintegrated. At that time, Quid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah organized them under the flagship of Muslim League and guided them towards the set goal of Pakistan in the form of Pakistan resolution. Quid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah led a successful independence movement and it resulted in the creation of Pakistan. But dear friends, apart from a great leader and statesman, Quid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a great personality as well. He was a man of principle. He set a well-defined rules and there was nobody who could persuade him to abandon those rules. He never involved in petty politics. He was above any enmity towards his political rivals. And in a way, he inculcated positive values in politics. And that's why today world remembers him as a man of dignity and a great political leader. Dear friends, I will not take much of time, but I would say the best way to pay homage to our founding father today is to remind his words of unity, faith, and discipline. It doesn't matter if we live in Pakistan or in some other country, but the thing is that we should work with devotion, whether we are doctor or we are shopkeeper or anyone, because the hard work is the key of the success. And thank you so much. With this, I want to take the opportunity to thank the Pakistan Press Club UK team, who organized this wonderful program, and we are gathered here under this one roof to share our ideas and feelings for our in the commemoration of our state leader. Thank you so much.
Apologies. I have to go to Ashton to attend the Royal British Legion 100-year ceremony. So I was in the church with all the Manchester other Kent boroughs mayors. So that was after the representative for a council there. So that was the reason I'm just late today. Otherwise, Mahboob Elahi Butt साहब की invite हो, शहजाद साहब की invite हो, प्रेस क्लब का फंक्शन हो और डेट हो, कोई एक्सक्यूज नहीं बनती लेकिन ये जेन्युइन एक्सक्यूज है. I hope you accept my apologies. डे के हवाले से आज हमारे जो होस्ट हैं, हमारे जो प्रेस क्लब वाले हैं, उन्होंने ये फंक्शन अरेंज किया है. हमारे मौजूद मेहमान सबसे पहले तो एज ए मैं लॉर्ड वाजिद साहब को खुशामदीद कहता हूँ. रॉचडेल हमारे लॉर्ड साहब भी हैं, ये हमारी शान है, हमारे लिए बाइस रिस्पेक्ट है, कम्युनिटी के लिए काम किया और इस बात में फख्र है कि आज वो हाउस ऑफ लॉर्ड्स में हमें रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. वी आर रियली प्राउड फॉर आवर प्रेसिडेंट. और हमारी बहन काउंसलर मुक़द्दसा जो है ये रॉचडेल को ये काउंसलर कहते हैं, काउंसलर हमारे लीग से मेरे भाई और जो है ये आए हैं पूरे कल के हमने लॉर्ड में से बैठे थे और जितने भी मेहमान यहाँ पे रॉचडेल से बाहर से आए हैं, रॉचडेल से और सबको मैं वेलकम कहता हूँ कि आज उन्होंने टाइम निकाला और यहाँ पे आए हमारे रॉचडेल में कायदा ने उन्होंने अटेंड किया. बात अगर आप Quid-e-Azam डे पे करते हैं तो Quid-e-Azam के 4 असूल थे में किताब, ईमान, तज़हीम یہ قائد کے وہ اصول ہیں جن پہ قائد نے پاکستان بنایا تھا. اور آج ضرورت اس بات کی ہے کہ ہم انہیں اصولوں کو آگے لے کے چلیں تاکہ پاکستان کی ترقی کے لیے کام کر سکیں. لیکن کیا ہم لوگوں نے ان اصولوں کو پوری طرح ایکسیپٹ کیا آگے چلے؟ تو یہ آج اسی بات کی ہے کہ جتنا بھی ہمیں ایز اے برٹش پاکستانی ہم لوگوں نے کام کیا ہے، آئی ہوپ کہ پاکستان کے ساتھ اسی طرح ہم آگے کام کرتے رہے، پاکستان کی ترقی کے لیے کام کرتے رہے. لیکن ایک چیز ہے کہ وی شوڈ بی پراؤڈ برٹش پاکستانی کہ ہم نے جہاں بھی گئے پاکستان کا نام روشن کیا. آج قائد کی روح کم از کم اس بات کو ضرور خوش ہوگی کہ برٹن میں اور گریٹر مانچسٹر میں پاکستان نے ضرور پاکستان کا نام روشن کیا. لارڈ واجد کو جب میں دیکھتا ہوں کہ جہاں کا آدمی مجھے اتنی خوشی ہوتی ہے کہ آزاد اور میں جب یہ بنے یہ پاکستانیوں کا حکم ہے. یہی قائد کے اصول سے قائد نے کہا تھا کہ پاکستان کی ترقی کے لیے کام کریں کوئی اور وقت. لیکن ایک بات یاد رکھیں کہ مجھے بھی برٹن we have to contribute in our British society. اس برٹن نے ہمیں بہت کچھ کیا ہے. ہمارے بچوں کا فیوچر یہاں پہ جو ہے وہ ایک اہم ذمہ داری ہے ہمارے لیے. So we have to work in integration. We have to do stronger capacity اپنے ان چیزوں پہ شو کرنا ہوگا کہ جہاں پہ ہماری ایک strong bonding ہو.
A magnetic politician when they get hold of it. And I know that I've got limited time, and I'll just say my word. I ran from the Press Club of Pakistan to Rochdale, and as a local resident and as a local councillor, I think it's a wonderful thing after COVID-19. Now we are seeing each other what we look like, because last year and a half we just stayed inside all the time. Today we are here to talk about and celebrate the life of Quid-e-Azam, Muhammad and Jinnah. I think none of us can explain that personality, huge personality which made history. But when I went to uni, I had a chance to
صاحب سے گزارش ہے کہ جلدی سے آ کے تو پلیٹس وغیرہ بنائیں. موجود صاحب سب سے پہلے میں بہت کچھ شکریہ ادا کرتا ہوں اس بات کا. جناب زاہد صاحب کا ورلڈ وائڈ کیشن کیری میں ہمیشہ ہمارے ساتھ تعاون کرتے ہیں اور انشاءاللہ ہماری خواہش ہے کہ ہمارے ساتھ حاضر تعاون کریں. اور اس کے علاوہ ان کے فرانس کے فیصل احمد صاحب وہ بھی ہمیشہ ہمارے ساتھ تعاون کرتے ہیں. اور ابھی جو مجھے ایک اسپانسر اور ملا ہے وہ زبردستی صاحب غلام یاسین صاحب نے بھی اسپانسر کیا. اور ابھی ایک مجھے زبردستی اسپانسر دیا صابر زادہ نے. وہ کہتا ہے میرے 35 سال کی دوستی ہے. تو میں نے کہا مجھے کیوں دے رہے ہو؟ اس پریس کلب کو دے رہے ہو؟ مجھے دے رہے ہیں. صابر زادہ صاحب آپ کا بہت شکریہ کہ آپ نے ہر کام قبولیت چھوڑ کے تو پیسے مجھے دے دی. بہت شکریہ. تو
Report Humaira Sana, Shazia Khan and Mia Amir Ali, TV 49 News, UK.